Nobody goes out here and says, I wish I could be a baby mama other than Sexy Red. Like, that's not what nobody aspired to be. And it almost makes you think, damn, do black men hate black women? And I know I'm gonna probably regret saying that. It's Friday. Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Meloney P podcast. I'm your girl, Meloney P, and we're here to have a conversation. I'm feeling good. We've made it through the week, and listen, let's have a kiki. I posted an episode day before yesterday, and we were talking about, in the first part, about how this ain't orange territory anymore. This is not orange man territory anymore. There is a lady on TikTok. Her name is KC Bass, and she's a black woman. I will enter her information on the screen. She's a black healer, life coach, I want to say, corporate America black lady, beautiful lady. And when the election results came out, the next morning she went live. And when I tell you, her live was something that I want to hear every single day. It was so moving and so healing. I literally screen recorded it. I might even include a little clip of her live here because it was very much giving, the results are in, what can you do? And I reached out to her this morning because I need her now, because now the results are in, we get it, but now he's in office, and now everywhere you look, it is something that can be triggering to black and brown people everywhere. And, you know, not even black and brown, but people who have a heart and have a soul. So I want to get her on the show. I think she was really, really good. And I don't want to talk about this stuff anymore because it's just too draining, too taxing for me. I'm pretty much over it. Now, back to the shits and giggles. Today, I had another episode where I was talking about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, and the episode, ironically, was talking about why does this lady trigger you? And honestly, when I put that title in the title, I didn't really think that she triggered people, especially black men, until I posted a video and I talked to people, and not only people. As I always say on the podcast, I am blessed to be around a circle of a lot of great black men, husbands, fathers, churchgoers, just great black men. And I was very, very surprised by not only the black men that I'm referring to, their responses and reactions to that video. I can name them, but I know they watched the video, so I'm not going to do y'all like that. And then even in the comments, right? Then I was thinking, okay, it's always this conversation about, damn, black men hate some black women. And I'm just like, no, they don't. That's ridiculous. Stop saying that kind of stuff. But then I fast forwarded to this whole Nelly Coon, Rick Ross Coon situation, as well as Soulja Boy. And one of the things that Soulja Boy and Nelly both freely and voluntarily said is they brought up Kamala Harris. They talked about how, you know, oh, she didn't invite me to come on the stage and perform. Oh, I didn't get a piece of her 1.5 million. And then even in the comments, as early as yesterday, I literally saw this guy going back and forth with me in the comments saying that, you know, y'all mad at Nelly and y'all mad at Snoop Dogg, but when Meg Thee Stallion was up there twerking and Beyonce was up there, y'all had nothing to say. And it's just like, out of all the things to be outraged about, out of all the things to have vitriol about, you gonna try to debate me comparing Vice President Kamala to Agent Orange in Agent Orange's favor, or anybody that's on his side's favor. And it's just like, black man, are you serious? Like, you're going after me? You're going back and forth with me? And all I'm doing is pushing you up and talking about how great you are. And you're talking about, oh, what, Meg Thee Stallion this, Beyonce this. And it's just like, this is a real question. Why do these black women trigger you? Now, when I posted the Cheyenne video, Dr. Cheyenne video, I even saw Jessie Woo. I'm gonna call her out. Love her down. Watch every video she got. I think she's amazing. I think she's stunning. I think she's really that bitch. She's a powerhouse of comedy, facts, blah, blah, blah. But even she was kind of saying, you know, kind of opposing things as it related to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And it's just like, damn, like, why does this woman make y'all feel some kind of way. And then I started talking to my friend this morning. I'm like, I was telling her about her husband saying stuff about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And, she asked me, she was like, she doesn't listen to a lot of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's commentary, but is she giving that energy about, if a black man ain't paying all the bills and if he ain't this and he's not a certain this or that, maybe that's why black men are triggered by her. But that's not even the energy that she's on. I have a friend who, when I dropped that episode, just to give you some examples, he's married. He has daughters, and I dropped the episode about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, and his first response was, here she come, thinking she know everything, and why they gotta talk about, black men, she ain't never been married, whatever. That's one person. Then I had another person say, when I started playing her video, they're like, oh, she thinks she know everything. And it's just like, why would a black woman, why would she trigger you in the way that she does? Dr. Cheyenne talks about uplifting black women. Dr. Cheyenne empowers black women to have boundaries, to have goals, to, go after the things that they want. She believes in black love. She believes in healthy and healing relationships. Why in the world does this lady trigger you? And then it almost makes you think, damn, do black men hate black women? I don't think that, but it makes me go to that question and be like, okay, well, damn, maybe this is why certain black women are saying, do black men hate black women? Then I go to another example. I was talking to the owner of Grown Men Talking, and we were on a live together, and he was talking about and brought up Madame Noir. And Madame Noir is it's like a podcast or like a show that comes on for like a 10-minute show. Sometimes it has Claudia Jordan. It has Kevin Hart's ex-wife. It has Jessie Woo. It has Melissa Ford. And then it has some other people. I'll try to get their information as well. And they're literally black women talking and empowering themselves and saying, like, on one of the episodes that this person referenced, they were saying that, as a woman in my 30s or in my 40s, if I don't find a partner, or if a partner does not find me that meets my standards, I live a life that I can afford to take my eggs, fertilize them at the bank, and have a kid myself without any man. And whether you agree or don't agree, why does that podcast trigger you so much? Why, like, people was really actually angry at that episode and about what they were saying. Like, why do you hate Madame Noir? So I don't know if I named it this, or if this was the name of the the name of the show, but it was literally given goodbye traditions, hello choices. It was a really, really good episode, and it was basically saying, if black women are not finding suitable partners, does that mean they have to lose out on the experience of having kids? And I know that men are going to say, well, what's a suitable partner? A lot of black men take issue with even that phrase of a suitable partner. And that's what's mind blowing to me. And that's how it goes back to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is wanting women to find suitable husbands and partners. And that is defined by the woman who's looking for the man, and vice versa. Like, a man should find a suitable partner as well. And I really feel like that's the energy that Dr. Cheyenne, that the women on Madame Noir, that is their energy. So long women and black women have had to kind of settle. And we know that word is triggering to you as well. You can't be mad if I, as a black woman, look at you and I think that choosing you as a partner would actually be me settling for less. Because at the end of the day, there could be men, I don't know who, but there could be men that look at me and be like, okay, well, choosing you would be me settling for less. Why would I be mad at that? There are gazillions of people in the world, and if you think that I'm not a suitable partner, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm going to go on to the next person. And I don't understand why men do not have that energy. It's something about Black women having their own standards, having their own requirements, and actually actively going after that triggers men. And what is weird to me about that is the men in my lives that I talked to them about the Cheyenne Bryant episode, it was surprising. Their responses about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant in that episode, and just even the title, their responses to me, I was very surprised, because you are supposed to be the cream of the crop. You know, you're the good Black men. You're the husbands. You're the leaders. You're the fathers. You know, you're the high earning men. Why are you so triggered? Like, you're the men that she's going up for. Think about that. I could see if it was a dude who was a bum or had, you know, some unhealed issues and just some whatever going on, and he saw her and he was triggered. That would make sense, because she's talking about you as a man that women need to be aware of. But the good men, like, let's focus on this. The good Black men that I know, they had immediate negative responses to just the mention of Dr. Cheyenne's name. So what is that about? What is that about? And then it goes back to suitable partner. Everybody ain't gonna get along. Everybody isn't going to be compatible. So why is it triggering to Black men for women, Black women, to say that they want a certain thing? Now, a lot of Black men would argue, that's why y'all single. That's why y'all got the highest single rate, the highest divorce rate. That's why y'all out here with these cats and y'all alone. But here's the thing. That's not a dig. That may have been a dig 10 years ago. That may have been a dig in my mama's time. Like, you alone, you single, it's just you and your cats. But here's where the transition is happening. The transition is happening is that women ain't mad to be single. Women ain't mad to be alone. Women are changing how the traditional outcome of their lives are. And here's what I say, and this is how I know this to be true. I look on TikTok sometimes and social media, or even on the cast of the women on Madame Noir. They're high earning women. They're attractive women. So at the end of the day, if they wanted to just, you know, settle for less, they really, really could. Like, you know, it's not giving Bum or Shrek. They have options. They just make a intentional, direct decision to bypass the options that are available for them. Now, they are fine with being in a clean house, a clean apartment, a clean condo, wherever they live in, you know, not being bothered and stressed out by Black men that they deem to be not suitable for them. They're becoming okay with that. They're enjoying dating, and then sometimes they're getting over it. I look at Melissa Ford. Melissa Ford had an episode recently about her being a 48-year-old cat lady. And when I listened to her episode, I understood. Like, she was like, if she had to do it over again, her being 48, no kids, never married, it's just her and her cats, she said that she wouldn't do anything differently. And you know why? Because she has peace. Based off of her interview and what she said, she's looking at her friends who chose the other way. The friends who chose to get married, the friends who chose to have kids. And in her experience, based off what she's saying, and I can understand, a lot of them are divorced. A lot of them are in unhappy situations. A lot of them are baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody goes out here and says, I wish I could be a baby mama. Like, nobody other than Sexy Red comes out here and says, that's what I aspire to be, somebody, a baby mama. Like, that's not what nobody aspired to be. So listen to what I'm saying and think about that. If a woman decides not to be with a man, not to be a baby mama, you know, not to settle in her eyes, and she's out here doing her own thing, living her own life, chilling, traveling, why does that trigger you? It's a loaded conversation. And again, the focus on this conversation for me is because I was very stunned at what I would define as high value men those were the men that had something to say. And they don't necessarily have negative things to say when it comes to this, but it's something about Dr. Cheyenne. It was something about those women on that podcast panel that triggered them. Freezing eggs is an option. Being a lesbian is an option. You know, choosing your career first is an option. Black women have the most masters. They are the top earners. DEI don't even have DEI. People think about black people. Black women hold the most masters even than white women. So at the end of the day, they have options. And that's even triggering to a lot of these people. I've even heard black men be like, we don't want to hear nothing about your masters. You can't stay up at night with your masters. Like, why would a woman who is defined by me as a boss bitch, you got money, you got career, you got education, you should be what the man is looking for. But it goes to the conversation that the lady on TikTok, who's a sprinkle lady, I don't agree with a lot of the shit that she say. I don't. At the end of the day, I do believe in traditional roles in how I define that. I believe in a man being a provider, a man being a head. My man is going to be my go-to of, hey, what should we do? Lead, you in charge, for the most part. Like, I do believe in that. I don't believe in a lot of stuff that, sprinkle lady puts out here. But at the end of the day, if she's out here saying that this is what she desires in a man, if that ain't you, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Tradition has changed. A lot of the traditional values sometimes that we speak about come from restraint. And by that, I mean, women back in our parents' day didn't have the options, the access to do certain things. I asked my mama a question and I thought her answer was very, very interesting. I asked her if she had the access, the finances, the opportunity to, instead of getting married at 18, starting a family and doing that, if you had it to do all over again and you had options to focus on your career, focus on your education, what would you have chose? And she said that she would have chose to focus on her career and focus on her education. Now, my mom led a great life with an amazing man. We had a great life in Wilmington with our parents. You can see that by the fruits of me and my brothers at the end of the day. But for her to say that if she had to do it all over again, and if she had an option, she would choose to focus on her career. Fuck them kids, fuck that husband. I would have chose to focus on my career and my education. So the only reason why this is new is because it wasn't an option. I don't know, y'all. Let me know what you think. I'm really, really interested. I really, really, really want to hear from the black men. I know I'm going to probably regret saying that, but I want to hear from the black men. Why does Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and her encouraging black women to go after what they want, why does that trigger you? Why do the women on the panel of, listen to black women, the Madame Noir, I need to get their information right. Why do them saying, I can go out here, freeze my eggs, focus on my career, I can date, but if I don't find someone that I think is a suitable partner, I might just go ahead and have kids by myself. Why would that trigger you? Why is the focus so much on the women and not focus on black men being the best version of themselves? And if black women are the highest earners, if black women have the most education, black men aspire. So we both up here. It is what it is, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. I want to start the conversation. I want to start a healthy conversation in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and I'll see you on the next episode.